Even the Washington Post has admitted Biden's lies. Here's a clip.
Fox News alert. The National Archives has just admitted that they have in their possession over 5,000 emails tied to Joe Biden's alias email accounts.
This is crazy.
Joe Biden, as vice president, used 3 different aliases: Robin Ware, Robert L. Peters, J.R.B. Ware. None of these are Biden's Secret Service code names. These are secret email accounts that Joe Biden was using to exchange covert messages with Hunter Biden, other Biden family members, friends, and staffers.
The evidence
and the
just keeps
persnickety
piling
librarians at the archives, who were salivating to see Trump in prison over a paperwork dispute, are stonewalling the release of over 5,000 secret Biden emails.
Of course they
They're
are.
saying sorting through the secret emails will take years. The National Archives,
just release them.
They have 3,000 employees. It takes less than 15 seconds to read an email, so you do the math. Another cover-up. And Joe Biden's lawyers will have Sharpies, and they get to redact what they consider private or privileged. Hunter, I'm flying to Ukraine tomorrow. Call me about the prosecutor we were talking about. Zht, redacted. There's a good chance we won't see most of these emails for years, which is why House Republicans need to open an impeachment inquiry immediately. So how do we find out about these secret emails? The laptop, obviously. Here's one from a White House staffer to Robert L. Peters,
such an idiot.
Joe Biden, CCing Hunter. Quote, boss, 8:45 a.m. prep for 9 a.m. phone call with Ukrainian President Poroshenko.
Oh.
Then we're off to Rhode Island for infrastructure event, and then Wilmington for UDEL commencement. So why was White House staff CCing Hunter about Vice President Joe Biden's phone call with the Ukrainian president?
Oh,
Why
man.
would Hunter need to know that?
The owners of Burisma were squeezing Hunter Biden to call Washington to get help. Along this same time period, we found a pseudonym where he copied Hunter Biden, and it would lead one to believe that this was Joe Biden's way of copying Hunter Biden to say, okay, send it to the Burisma owners and tell them help is on the way. And 5 days later, Joe Biden flew to Ukraine to begin the process of firing the prosecutor.
Hunter was also using his dad's secret email address to get his cronies government jobs. Here's one. Before you fill the position, please talk to me. McGrail very much wants to serve as detail for Treasury. Joe Biden's alias responds, call me right away.
Wow.
Don't worry.
Wow.
The crony got the job. There
Of
could
course
even
he
be
did.
as many as 6 Biden alias email accounts. One
So
of his
corrupt.
personal favorites, 67 Stingray. You know, the car that he almost lost in the kitchen fire that almost killed his cat? That one.
Insane.
And the same time Joe Biden was using secret alias email accounts to talk business with Hunter, Joe Biden was flying Hunter to at least 15 other countries on Air Force Two. We paid for that.
Yep. Taxpayers
Countries where
paid
Hunter
for it.
conducted business. What do you call secret flights, secret email addresses, burner phones, shell companies, offshore accounts, client dinners and phone calls, 150 suspicious activity reports, and $20 million of foreign money funneled into 10 different Biden family bank accounts? Well, a Biden business partner called it selling the Biden brand. And the White House won't say whether it's still happening.
We know that from a Hunter Biden associate now that he sold the appearance of access to then Vice President Biden. Are you confident that he has stopped doing that?
That is a question for Hunter
No.
Biden. and
If
his
somebody is
representatives.
selling the appearance of access
That
to the
is-
White House,
that
that is a
is-
question
She
for
won't
the White
even
House.
answer.
No, that is your I don't know how you're perceiving that.
Devin Archer talked
Perspective.
about how
You don't know
he and
that
Hunter
word.
Biden tried to profit off the Biden brand. What is the Biden brand?
I'm not going to get into it from here. I'm not going to get into it from here. We're going to move on.
So the White House
awful.
isn't going to
She's
get
just smiling.
into whether the White House is for sale. Got it. Jonathan Turley is
Wow.
a George Washington law professor and a Fox News contributor.
Not a good
All right,
look.
So, Professor, when someone is conducting business in secret, then getting caught and then lying about it, does that make you more or less suspicious?
Well, there's plenty of reason to be suspicious, including the fact that the president appears to have been lying to the American
Appears
people,
to
even
be.
during the presidential campaign. Even the Washington Post has said that it's untrue what the president has said, that indeed his son made money in China, And we also know that Joe Biden was aware of these dealings. And one of the things that Archer said after his interview with Congress was that it was patently false that Joe Biden didn't know about their business.
Wow.
And you also see a change in the media. Now the media is willing to accept that indeed Hunter Biden was running an influence peddling operation. But they insist that he was just selling the illusion of influence and access.
What?
Well, how do we know that? Do you just assume that? These emails
still not
could
illegal?
go a long way to determining what was a deliverable and whether it went beyond.
It's still not illegal? The illusion? So he's like, okay, I'm just going to pretend and scam everyone out of their money and be like, well, I don't have influence over my dad, but I'm going to pretend and I'm going to scam him, and that's better. I mean, it's better in a way because then Joe Biden's not involved, I guess, but Hunter's still. Shouldn't they be against Hunter still? But no, he's a recovering drug addict. I don't care.
An illusion.
Well, wealthy foreign nationals don't usually continue to pay millions of dollars over 8 years for an illusion.
I know.
It's usually not how
True.
businessmen make all of those millions of dollars. I want to play some new sound from MSNBC. There seems to be a new conspiracy theory that we've put our finger on. Listen to Rachel Maddow.
The election means one of two things, if this is the way he's going to approach it. Either he loses the election and he goes to prison, or he wins the election, he doesn't go to prison, and is that life that he gets to be president? Will we keep having more elections or no? If every election is a new opportunity for him to go to prison, do you think he allows us to have new elections?
It's quite a comparison.
So as a preeminent constitutional scholar, do you see any warning signs that if Donald Trump is reelected, we're canceling future elections until eternity?
They were saying this before the
What's bizarre
2020
about that
election.
clip is that there is, of course, other options. One is that Trump could be acquitted. You could have a hung jury. The cases could be thrown out on constitutional grounds. All of those, at least, are options that are worth mentioning for appearance's sake.
But
if
there's
you're
only
a nation
two,
committed to the
according to
rule
her.
of law. Now, what is also missing in all of this is this lack of faith in our system. You know, we did have a terrible, terrible attack on the Capitol on January 6th, but the system worked. The courts remained firm all the way up to the certification and afterwards. Our system held together. And I always find it strange, this crisis of faith that people have. We have a fantastic constitutional system in this country. We've been through a lot. And so having that type of hyperbolic language is not helping. I mean, we need to remain unified in the common article of faith that we have, which is the Constitution. And that system has worked and will continue to work.
If Donald Trump is convicted of any of these charges in court and his appeals are exhausted, do you see any possibility that a judge in the United States is going to throw a former president who's probably going to be 80 years old in prison?
Well, it depends on the crime, and it also depends on the timing. President Trump could indeed pardon himself for federal crimes. For the state crimes, it could create some serious complications. The court would first have to sentence him to jail, but then federal courts may get involved to the extent that that would interfere with presidential functions. We obviously have not.
Yeah, and like I always talk about, the Secret Service and the Constitution, that would, the Secret Service supersedes everything. So if he goes, they can't just send him to a normal prison without bringing Secret Service. The Secret Service would never allow that. And they supersede all jurisdictions. So it's just like, how would that ever work? It would have to just be like house arrest or something.
And down that road, but we have to look towards it, and it's going to be a messy situation. The courts are going to have to deal with it, but there's a lot of road between now and then. I mean, it's still not clear what trials could occur before the election. It's also not clear if convictions that were secured would be upheld when they're challenged.
They probably wouldn't be.
It probably is going to be difficult to bring all of these threshold challenges to the Court of Appeals before trial. Judges tend to say that you should get a verdict first and then appeal. But there are substantial constitutional questions that still have to be worked out. So all the hyperbolic language aside, there's a lot of constitutional legal questions that have to be resolved before we reach that point.
All right, Professor, thank you for going to law school so I didn't have to.
I know. Thank you.
Thank you, Jesse.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click
Yeah,
here to
it's really interesting. Yeah. So yeah, everyone is admitting, like, even Washington Post is like publishing this type of stuff now. It's wild, you know, and they're just keep going after Trump, and they don't want to go after Biden. They don't want to go after Hunter Biden. They just want to pretend, oh, no, we're not. It's not partisan. It's not partisan at all. It's clearly partisan. And this stuff that they're going after Trump for, it's not going to even work. I don't think that even the stuff that they just need to get Joe Biden out of power. I mean, I don't think he'll go to jail either, you know, because of the Secret Service thing I just brought up. He might get house arrest in like his Delaware mansion. That would be the easiest, right? But then like actually trying to get him into like a prison, and maybe you have to build his own prison. But what a waste that would be. And have the Secret Service around him, it'd be better for house arrest, I guess. I've heard other people bring this up too, but I think I brought it up first. But I brought it up first before I saw people in the media occasionally bringing it up. But it's just like, how are you going to send anyone to prison when the Secret Service supersedes everything? They're going to not be happy with it. They're like, I'm not going to be in prison. And it's like logistically trying to keep the former president safe when they're in prison. It's not going to happen, right? But yeah, get Joe Biden out of power, and all this stuff against Trump is obviously nonsense. But yeah, it would be interesting to have more investigations into Biden, and I definitely think they need to happen.
If you like this video, be sure to subscribe for daily news updates, smash that like button, share this video with your friends, and share your thoughts on the story in the comments below. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.